am AJC Senior Editor and WABE Contributor Mike Jordan.
And I'm Sammy Purcell, Associate Editor with Rough Draft Atlanta.
And this is How Do You Atlanta?
Let's take a look at what's going on in the city this week. What do you got for us, Mike?
All right, first up, we're actually going to start at the house at home here, WABE, where political reporters Sam Greenglass and Rahul Bali will be hosting a night of fun and trivia at Wild Leap Atlanta called Pints and Politics. So there's going to be teams of up to 6 people competing for prizes, including WABE swag, gift cards, and more. And you'll get to test your knowledge of politics and current events while enjoying a good time with friends, mingling with your favorite local WABE peeps. Now, this is a 21-up event to attend, but each registered guest will receive a drink ticket, and that's probably why. There's limited free parking that's going around the building, so make sure you look around Wild Leap Atlanta and Google Maps, and you'll find the directions to get there. It's a little tricky because it's Centennial Yards, still being built, but it's going to be a fun event for all you political junkies out there. Again, this is Thursday, April 25th at Wild Leap Atlanta in downtown, and for more information, you can go to wabe.org.
This feels really old school. Like, I feel like isn't that why public houses are a thing? Because that's where you would go to discuss things and have ideas, politics, stuff like that over a cold one. How
would you do in a political trivia thing? What do you think?
It depends what's the scope, I guess.
Drama.
Is it like, no, I mean what's how far back are we going? Because I actually do think I do pretty good historically and pretty good, depends what historical era historical era.
Yeah.
And pretty good, really current day. But there are probably some things I'd just be completely blanked out on.
Some gaps. Yeah.
Gaps in my knowledge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe the beer and the pints, they might help.
Yeah. Jog your memory a little bit.
You should come, Sammy. We should be on our team together. We can run the game.
That'll be fun.
All right, Sammy, what do you got next?
All right, well, coming up over the next 2 weekends, we've got the Atlanta Film Festival. So that's going to be taking place April 25th through May 5th at the Plaza and Terra Theaters. And there'll also be virtual options, which is really exciting. So they've got some really great marquee screenings this year. The Idea of You is going to open the festival, and that stars Anne Hathaway as a single mother who begins an impromptu romance with a 24-year-old boy band lead singer. Sounds kind of spicy, sounds kind of fun. And then we've got something on the total other end of the spectrum closing out. So we've got Sing Sing. That's going to be the closing night film at the festival. So that stars Coleman Domingo as a man imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. And while in prison, he and other incarcerated men find purpose in a theater group. So, sounds like a really interesting idea. And then there are going to be some other great marquee screenings, including I Saw the TV Glow, which got some really great buzz out of festivals earlier this year. I'm very excited about that one. And I'm also really excited about a ton of films from Georgia-based filmmakers. So more than 24% of the films in the festival will have ties to Georgia filmmakers. So that's really exciting. So we've also got the festival's Creative Conference, which is something really cool that the Atlanta Film Festival does. It's their educational programming arm of the festival. So that's going to run April 30th to May 12th. And there are going to be panels and workshops with industry professionals. So I would definitely check that out if you have a chance. And you can find more information about all of this and tickets at the festival's website. So again, that's the Atlanta Film Festival. It's going to be a blast.
Sounds like it. Always does. I'm just excited again. Anne Hathaway's always great. Coleman Domingo is
he's
having
awesome.
His moment.
Yeah, which
he's
is
really
exciting.
great. See Rustin?
Yes.
Yeah. Rustin was really good. If anyone wants to know, who is this Coleman Domingo guy? And if you've not been paying attention.
You've seen him in a lot of stuff, though. You'll see him and go, oh, yeah, that guy.
That guy. Yeah, he's that guy. But, again, these are great films. And it lets us ATLians kind of get a little bit of a view of all of these really awesome films, that don't always get all the major love in the bigger theaters and everything. And shout out to the big theaters. All theaters need some love.
That's true.
But the little ones do, too.
Absolutely. Did you see Anne Hathaway at the Hawks game?
No, I did not.
She looked good.
Was she did Trey Young or anybody notice her? Maybe that's why we didn't make the playoffs.
She was wearing a really cool sunglasses.
Okay.
Inside, I think.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not making that up. That's what I'm picturing in my head.
Yeah, I mean, this season was one to wear sunglasses inside, I think. It's all good. We love the Hawks. We love y'all, Hawks. We love y'all. Go Hawks. Yes, go.
All right, what else do you have for us this week?
All right, up next, the Atlanta Seafood Fest. So this is Saturday, April 27th. It's about a 4-hour event starting at 1 p.m. And there'll be a big old selection of seafood, beer, wine, mimosa, seltzers even, live music, and DJ Q-Tip, who does a lot of these kinds of events. So if you're familiar with him, expect that same old jam energy. Your tickets will include not just your entry, but your entertainment, a souvenir cup, and all samples of adult beverages. Now, your food costs extra. And tickets range from about $50 to $65 on the day of the event. Of course, it's sold out sometimes, so make sure if you can, get them a little early, and if not, get in line early. Now, just FYI, this is a 21 up event. No kids, babies, no pets also. And there will also be no outside food and beverage. So the alcohol, by the way, cuts off at 4:45 p.m. That's probably good information to know if you're going to be out there. All that shrimp, all of that trout, all of that great seafood and crab and everything you're going to have. It's going to be beverages as well. You're going to have a good time. But make sure you get there early. Again, 1 to 5 p.m. Saturday, April 27th for the Atlanta Seafood Festival at Atlantic Station. And you can get more information on this event at the link in the show notes.
I don't know if I've ever asked you this before. What's your favorite seafood?
Okay, so it would, for the longest time, it would probably be crab claws, specifically crab claws. But I've become really big into sea bass lately. I've been going to a lot of local Mediterranean restaurants and Middle Eastern, so your Del Bar, your Rumi's Kitchen, and all that good stuff. Kitty Dare over off in Inman Park. Yeah. And they've got really good sea bass. That's what I've been into. What about you?
So I'm a really big halibut fan. Like, especially I don't know if it's still on the menu. This was probably last year, maybe 2 years ago. I used to get at the Optimist, and it's like one of the best cuts of fish I've ever had. It's really delicious.
What side do you have your fish with?
They have those potatoes at the Optimist. Those kind of fingerling, really crispy ones.
Oh, I know.
Yes. I love those.
Yes. Yeah. Sammy, there's a reason why we have a podcast together. We should bring some seafood here next time.
We should definitely.
And some Lowry's or something. Yes.
Let them, bring me some oysters. That'll be great.
It'll be wonderful. Optimist, do it.
This is How Do You Atlanta. I'm Sammy Purcell, and we'll be right back after this break.
All right, Sammy, what do you have next?
Well, the Smyrna Jonquil Festival at the Village Green is coming up April 27th through 28th. Very excited about one. This is my home turf, and it's a really, really fun spring festival. So the Jonquil Festival features over 150 arts and crafts booths, food booths, an entertainment stage, and a ton of children's activities. So it's a great big family affair. It's a lot of fun. There's going to be handmade crafts, painting, clothing, furniture, jewelry, and then, of course, festival foods, which is my favorite part of this whole thing. They've got cotton candy, candy apples, corn dogs. It's a really kind of fairgrounds vibe, which is really fun with the food, including snow cones, which I absolutely love. And then, of course, you've got the children's area, which includes big and small inflatables, sand art, and so much more. So your kids will definitely be busy while you're perusing through all the different stalls. So again, that's the Smyrna Jonquil Festival at the Village Green on April 27th through 28th.
So I love these village festivals. I always love the arts and crafts. I'm really always just sort of wondering what other types of arts and crafts can you get at these festivals besides, of course, leather and, knives and stuff like that. But I've really found lately that, the furniture at these kind of festivals is getting really nice. So I don't know that they will have stuff, but if I'm attending this, that's what I'm looking for because, a lot of the shops, and of course, shout out to IKEA, which we have in Atlanta, and shout out to all of the really high-end specialty stores, but I've seen some of the most interesting furniture at some of these little craft festivals.
Yeah, this isn't furniture related, but there is just some weird stuff out there. If you spend enough time looking through all that stalls, and I mean weird in the best way, some really interesting things you can find. I had a friend who was at the Dogwood Festival.
Yep, Dogwood.
And he was describing it as a flat photo or a flat painting of someone that had a 3D nose, and that was what this person did. So you'll be able to find the craziest stuff.
That's kind of
ill.
People have
weird niches,
And it's a clown?
It's just I think he said it was famous people. So anybody. All right, what else do you have for us this week?
All right, back again this year is Heritage Fire. This is a live fire walk-around feast, and it travels the nation. It's also food and wine, related, but it heads to Atlanta on April 28th. That's a Sunday, and it's awesome because they really do a lot with live fire cooking. So if you're someone who likes grilled foods, if you're someone who likes to do things on the hearth and whatnot, it's going to be really your type of thing. So family farms and local chefs providing the things that are going to be there to eat. So a lot of heirloom produce, just really good food, bread, livestock stuff, all kind of great things. Now, there's a VIP package, and, I like to always say if you can do VIP, do it because it gets you your early access. Always important. You get a welcome libation, they're calling it. Unlimited food, entertainment, spirits, wine, cocktails, more. General admission is about $50 less and gives you the unlimited food, entertainment, spirits, and wine, but that early access, if you want that, get it. And some of the local talents you'll find are Rodney Scott, a brilliant pitmaster of Rodney Scott's Whole Hog Barbecue, and also Pat Pasquarella of the Porchetta Group, which does the White Bull, a bunch of other restaurants here in Atlanta, Alici, and other Italian spots. So beef, lamb, duck, whole pig, seafood, all of that fired up outside with free-flowing wine and cocktails. Really good things happening. So be out there again. This is at West Midtown at Guardian Works, and it goes from about 3:30 for the early access, 4:15 for general admission, until 7 p.m. at night. This is Sunday, April 28th, and you can get more information through the link in our podcast show notes.
That's awesome. There is something really great about just like cooking on an open fire. Like the smell is always just better. I don't know if that's
the
just
danger, that's always
sure,
cool
that
too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I really love that like campfire-y smell. I actually had a cocktail at Tio Lucho's recently.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to Tio Lucho's. That came like with smoke. Like they had something on top of it and then they pulled it away and it like smelled like a campfire for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, these
great.
Smoky old fashions or mezcal old fashions.
It was
something
a
like
gin
that.
drink. Which
it was a
crazy.
gin smoke drink.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I love open fire cooking, and I really am always amazed at people who can make food that has charred flavor.
Yeah.
But it's not burned.
Yes.
And that's
Fine
a skill.
line.
I can grill and char meat, but I don't know that anyone's going to want to eat what I do sometimes.
I can definitely burn stuff.
Yeah. We can come to your event and do some open fire cooking, but I don't know if everybody's going to want to pay $175 or $125. But sounds great. I love Heritage Fire. I've been before. If you can make it out there, I would highly recommend going and eating some flame grilled foods. All right. You have anything else, Sammy?
I do. We've got the Fox Revival Benefit Concert coming up on April 28th. So, of course, this will be at the Fox Theater. And the headliner is none other than Indigo Girls with special guests Charlie Starr and Benji Shanks of Blackberry Smoke. So this is a really, really cool event and going to be a super awesome, really local concert. The night is going to be hosted by Atlanta native and musician Kevin Kinney of Drivin' and Cryin'. And the benefit concert will raise money to preserve and restore Georgia's historic theaters. It's a very cool night. There'll be an auction in the lobby area, I believe. I'm not sure if that's the correct location, but there will be one kind of outside of the concert itself. And then, of course, you'll get the concert on stage. And it's a really, really cool event. I actually got to talk to Emily Saliers of Indigo Girls recently, which was a big deal for me. Very exciting. And they've been having a renaissance, with Barbie in the past year, and they've got a jukebox musical called Glitter and Doom that recently hit theaters. So it's a really good time for Indigo Girls, and this is a really, really cool event. Tickets can be purchased at foxtheater.org. Again, that's the Fox Revival Benefit Concert on April 28th.
Yo, shout out to Indigo Girls always. Mm-hmm. Am I mistaken? One of the Indigo Girls owned Watershed.
Emily.
Here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest restaurants the city has known. Even when it went through different ownership, it was still doing very inventive things. The fried chicken was immaculate. Now, I don't just mean to swerve into fried chicken land as I'm talking about the Indigo Girls, but boy, was that a great restaurant. So again, they will always have a place in my heart from the way to people's hearts is through their stomachs.
Yes, absolutely.
But this is just a brilliant band. And so anytime you can see them and they're doing something, again, this renaissance they're having, I'm all for it.
She was so funny when we were talking about kind of how now because of Barbie, kind of Barbie in particular, but they've got a documentary coming out soon. There's been like kind of a surge of younger people listening to Indigo Girls, which is very, very cool.
Yep. That's a good thing.
That's what we've got for How Do You Atlanta this week. For more on these and other events, check out howdoyouatlanta.com. How Do You Atlanta is a joint production of WABE and Rough Draft. This podcast is produced by Crystal Devone with editing from Scotty Crow, WABE's Vice President of Audio. You can find links to all these events in the podcast show notes.
WABE.